G'day everybody, welcome back to another weekly tipping video on the channel. Great to have your company as we'll be going over my tips for round 17 of the 2022 AFL season. If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. And let's kick it off with my tips from last week. Okay, my tips for round 16 and pretty decent score, 7 out of 9. Could have been a lot worse, so it's a score I'll take, I guess. Going through the round, of course, did tip the Brisbane Lions. I felt like it was a bit of a danger game for the Lions, but just because they play so well at the Gabba, I thought I'd tip them, and they got a massive win. Pretty close contest throughout the game, but just that second half, Lions class and their list and just their powerful forward line really cruised to victory there. Tip Carlton against St Kilda. I wasn't really buying into the St Kilda could bounce back, to be honest, but fair enough, they pulled off an absolutely terrific win. To be fair, it was kind of at the expense of Carlton not kicking straight, but I felt like St Kilda were the better side on the day. They just scored, they counter-attacked very well. I think they broke even in the contest throughout the game too, so it was a great win. And it's good to see their forwards like Max King and Tim Membry get back into a bit of form. Of course, tip the Sydney Swans. I didn't really feel like Essendon could pull off an upset, but there you go, they did. Bombers pull off probably one of the wins of their season. Just a magnificent win. It was a really brave win too, because Swans had a few hefty margins throughout the game, but they just, that fourth quarter from the Bombers was something else. They're attacking, free-flowing style of footy. It was almost like they had nothing to lose, and they just went bang. Kicked goal after goal, and it was just a fantastic win from the Bombers. Champagne footy quality goals too. Of course, tip the Melbourne Demons, a no-brainer there. Wasn't really feeling like an upset could be in the making, but I was true about Adelaide being in the contest throughout most of the game. But yeah, the Demons class and their list and just their midfield, it was completely dominant, and they cruised to victory. A no-brainer tip, it's just pretty much a free tip. Tip the Cats, of course, massive win. Then went with the close one with Collingwood. I felt like because they're just able to play within any sort of conditions at any sort of venue, they get the win, and it was a pretty fortunate win. I think they were down by 2 goals with a few minutes to go, but I mean, both teams were very inaccurate, so it was a scrappy game of footy, but just a tough game, and what a win it was from the Pies. Tip the Tigers, of course, against the Eagles, and the Eagles are starting to really build onto something. I think that was a really good performance against a team like the Tigers, but as always expected, they were going to lose. Giants, tip the Giants, of course, in the very wet, soggy conditions. They were able to prevail over the Hawks, and of course, tipped Freo. A bit of a danger game it was for Freo, and they just got over the line in the end. Port Adelaide came running, but just cost themselves with a few opportunities you really thought they should have slotted through. So yeah, 7 out of 9, not too bad. Okay, we'll quickly go over my top 10 in my Rolls Market tipping competition on ESPN. Footy tips, kicking off at 10th, we've got Jason Raiders with 114, 9th Ben Plutton with 114, 8th Buck for Life, and 7th Banger Harvey has dropped down quite a bit, both with 115, 6th Richmond for Life with 116, 5th Demons Premiers 2021 with 170, 4th Batch-Rooney with 117, 3rd 𝐼𝐷12345 with 117, 2nd Kebab King 1 with 118, and 1st a new ladder leader in 𝐼𝐷1𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐷. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, with 119 points. Rightio, let's get now into my tips around 17, and gee, are the games getting tighter and tighter, more harder to tip as the rounds will go by, and we've got a few really tasty games coming up in this round, and probably one of the games of the round straight away. Thursday night, Geelong will be hosting the Melbourne Demons at GMHBA Stadium. First versus second, this is going to be a really quality game of footy, you do feel, because just, you know, when you really take a step back, I feel like Geelong are probably the more second seed in the comp, because home and away season, they always play just outstanding footy, and against the Demons, who both teams are in form, so it's a hard one to really tip here. It's really just a complete 50-50 game, but I think how I look at this is that the Demons forward line is somewhat getting the job done. You know, Bailey Fritsch and 𝐼𝐷 really need to kick goals if they want to have a working forward line. Ben Brown really needs to, you know, get going as well. And just considering that, I'm pretty sure the Geelong Cats are like top 3 in opposition scores inside 50. They're a very good defensive side. I think the midfield is working wonders. Their forward line is probably one of the most, you know, in current form-wise, the best in the competition with Hawkins and Cameron. And considering this is also GMHBA, I'm feeling like Geelong could get the edge here over the Demons. But again, you know, it's both tips are pretty safe ones, I feel. But just given the reason that Geelong, I think around the ground, are a bit better in form, I'll be tipping the Cats here, and they'll pick up. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like a somewhat closest victory. They'll win by 14 points. Another great game Friday night. Sydney Swans host the Western Bulldogs in what is sure to be a wet as hell, very soggy conditions SCG, of course, has been running in Sydney all week. We saw the game on Sunday with Giants and Hawthorn, so it's going to be a wet game of footy. So who is going to be more suited to the conditions? I think head-to-head wise, both teams are very inconsistent this year. Both teams have their flaws, both teams have their pros, and just considering that the Bulldogs midfield, I reckon, is still very, very good statistic-wise. I think they're still top 3, top 5 in clearance differentials and also contested possession differentials. Whilst the Swans aren't too great in those categories in the midfield, considering also it's going to be a wet game of footy, which could suit the Bulldogs a bit more. I know the Bulldogs' defence is just not really been good. The defensive half and the key defenders have not really been up to scratch. I still do believe that whoever's midfield can get on top will win this game, and I feel like because of the conditions also, midfield usually dominates Sydney's as well, contested possession wise, like it did, the Bulldogs did back in round 3. Last time these two sides did play, I'm probably going to be tipping the Bulldogs here. It's still a 50-50 game. It's just really what kind of side is going to turn up. Is it going to be, you know, the poor side of the Swans or the poor side of the Bulldogs, or vice versa? So yeah, just given what I've stated, I think the Bulldogs will get a close win here. What is sure to be a very sloppy game by 10 points. Now for the Saturday games, we kick it off with Collingwood hosting North Melbourne at the MCG. It's just practically a free tip. At this stage, Collingwood, just tip them straight away. No, you know, there's probably still a few worrying signs from Pies thinking, surely we can't lose against North Melbourne, but they're just a depleted footy side at the moment, and they just want to get this season over and done with. And Pies should pick up a big 40-plus win here and win by 52 points. Now with another really interesting matchup, Gold Coast taking on Richmond at Metricon Stadium. I think the Suns have been pretty unlucky their past fortnight. They've played some good footy in patches throughout games, but they've only lost. They've lost their last 2 under a kick, and they're really wanting to find some revenge here. They're angry, they're frustrated, considering they're playing at Metricon Stadium as well. You feel like they can get the job over the Tigers, but the Tigers are still one of the most informed sides in the competition. If they didn't lose against the Swans, if they didn't lose the close one against the Cats, they could seriously be, 7 games won in a row. So hard one to really tip here. Tigers usually play good footy as well at Metricon Stadium, but I'm feeling the Suns here. I think they can get on top of Richmond's midfield. I feel like they've just been a bit inaccurate in front of goal as well. I think Joel and 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐿, they can, you know, still be that next tier high in terms of goal kicking. Isaac Rankine's probably form-wise the best small forward in the competition, top 5 in score involvements or something crazy like that. So I'm feeling the Suns can edge the Tigers in this one and win. I think it's going to be a close one. I mean, these two sides, will go at it very hard. Suns will win by 8 points. Now, St Kilda hosting Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. An interesting matchup, this one. St Kilda, what a win it was against Carlton. And against Freo, who probably their past month have been somewhat ordinary. I mean, a poor loss against Carlton. A game where they really could have lost against the Port Adelaide Power. Now, travelling to Marvel Stadium, and geez, last time they played at Marvel Stadium was a poor performance against Carlton. So you really don't know here. St Kilda, looking like probably the more of the favourable side to get the win in Melbourne. Of course, they beat Fremantle the last time in Optus, where both sides probably weren't at their best. Really tough tip here. It's a really tough one, but it's 50-50. I'm probably edging towards the Saints. I feel like how they played last week is the Saints that we know. That's how they played with a full strength side. Paddy Ryder in there, Jack Higgins in there, full sides in there. I mean, Tom Highmore had a great game as a sub. He should be playing too. So I am going to be tipping St Kilda here. Close game. I feel like this is going to be a close round. I mean, these matchups are pretty tasty. St Kilda will win by 9 points. Now for Port Adelaide hosting the GWS Giants at Adelaide Oval. Could be a bit of a danger game here for Port Adelaide. I mean, mathematically their season is still alive, but if they certainly want to have any glimmer of chance for making finals, they need to just knock over a win here against the Giants. And I think, Port Adelaide should be picking up a comfortable win here at Adelaide Oval. They've been playing great footy at the AO lately. And Giants, they can give them a bit of a scare, I feel. They're a side that's got nothing to lose, the Giants. So they're just going to throw their attacking style of footy right at Port Adelaide. But Port Adelaide should pick up a win here and win a comfortable win, I reckon, by 22 points. Now for the Sunday games, and we have Brisbane Lions hosting Essendon at the Gabba. What a win it was for the Bombers last week, dismantling the Swans in the end. But I feel like it's going to be a bridge too far to get a result against the Lions, who are still, pretty much undefeatable at the Gabba. So Lions should be picking up a comfortable win here by around 30 points. Now Hawthorn taking on Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. Both sides have just been really unable to pick up victories. I mean, the last 5 games, Crows have won, pretty reasonable wins against North Melbourne and West Coast. So pretty much you could say both teams, against the other sides have lost their last 5 games, so it's a hard one to tip here. But I feel like Hawthorn should get back on the winners list here. It's a home game at Marvel Stadium. They play their best footy in Victoria, and Adelaide could really give them a bit of a scare. But I feel like Hawks can edge and win this game. You know, they've got to be picking up results now. I think they've form-wise been an okay side. They've played competitive. I mean, both sides have, but I'm feeling the Hawks can pick up the win here, and they'll win by 17 points. And for the final game of the round, West Coast Eagles taking on Carlton. You think you might just tip Carlton, they'll get the easy win, but geez, West Coast past month have been pretty good, I have to say. You know, their home games have been excellent. You know, obviously winning against the Eagles, going down by only 3 goals against Geelong, so they gave, you know, Carlton a really good go here. But, you know, 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐷ering back in for Carlton is a massive hit. I'm pretty sure he's back in this week. You know, Carlton should be winning this game. I understand it's a bit of a danger game for the Eagles, but against Carlton, they still are a very informed side in the competition, and they really should have won if they kicked straight against St Kilda. So they'll pick up the win here, the Blues, and cruise to victory, I reckon, and they'll win by 33 points. So everybody, there were my tips for round 17 of the 2022 AFL season. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you wanted to enjoy today's video. And also feel free to comment down below, fellas, and let me know what you think of my tips. And feel free to comment down yours below too. Love to hear your fellas' thoughts. So anyways, thank you for watching today's video. Make sure to stay tuned on the channel. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. See you later, fellas.